You can pick your friends and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's nose. How's that one?
All right, that was Miyamoto Musashi,
I
right?
think that was, yeah, it was in the Book of Five Rings.
So I'm here with Derek Croley, my childhood martial arts instructor, and I taught him some rope flow today. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was great because what I like about it is that you've got just a broad range of movement you can use for foundations, and then you're limited just by your creativity as far as what other types of mechanics you come up with. And as far as equipment, how hard is it to get a rope? So I think it's great.
Nice. And then it was really cool having you show me some of those same patterns relating to the nunchucks, what other weapons did we have?
Yeah, so we played with nunchucks, three-sectional staff, some chains that my teacher used to call thunder whips because he had a flair for the dramatic, but they're just plastic chains. And once you start exploring movement and exploring motion, you start seeing the body does certain things, and you start playing with, well, what can we do with it, and what can we do with these different instruments, and you start seeing consistency of movement and consistency of possibility, and with each one having a little different flair you can put on it. And I think these fit into that same series of arts and study of movement.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And as we were talking about earlier, I've been, and my goal has always been to help people feel better, have more longevity, be able to do the things they want in everyday life. And I found most of what the fitness industry has to offer is like kind of lacking. What made me reach out to you was thinking about some of the things I learned from you years ago, and particularly like Tai Chi concepts. There's a lot, I think, in the martial arts world and the traditional martial arts world that seems like we're just now catching up to. And it's picking up a primitive tool, moving it in ways, these patterns that look very similar to things you're already used to.
Yeah. The body hasn't changed a whole lot in the past few thousand years. And so I think there is merit to, in fact, a lot of merit to more modern Western ideas on fitness and stuff like that. But I think those things also need to be tempered with understanding of functionality. Like I look at a lot of the stuff that I did as growing up, doing all the sports and that kind of stuff that I did. A lot of it was kind of destructive on my body to benefit right now. Whereas I think for fitness, that's a poor approach. I think fitness needs to be, can you make your body work better longer? As opposed to, can you break it right now to maybe pick up an extra 5 pounds? Purely my opinion. But and again, going back to the ropes, I think this kind of thing accomplishes that. Because you've got range of movement, you've got an idea of playfulness, it's fun.
Yeah.
And so there's flexibility, coordination, strength building, just a lot going on with that kind of movement that one could play with almost indefinitely. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it to me is it's forgiving. Worst case scenario, you just slap yourself on the leg with it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of a lot of things like that. I like kettlebells quite a bit. I think the mistake people make with kettlebells is they try to just do too heavy of a weight.
Yeah.
And it needs to be a little lighter, and you can play with it. Because then you've got elements of movement, dexterity, juggling, all kinds of stuff in there.
Right.
And then of course, there's still your core movements in terms of weightlifting. Your squat, your deadlift, your bench. You need to do those movements somehow. But what if it could be that picking up a bar is something that someone's able to do? But what if you can't do that anymore for whatever reason, injury, whatever? Well, can we do those ranges of movement as far as our core functionalities with other things? And as we start getting creative stuff with these things and with other modalities of fitness, something else we talked about that I liked a lot is the idea of superior lateral movement, rotational movement. One of the things in our classes that I see that a lot of people who do only one kind of fitness thing, like there was a guy who was a marathon runner I trained once, really nice guy, very good athlete. He could barely even step sideways.
Yeah.
And I think doing, I look back and I think about the older relatives I had that, uh, fell and broke a hip, and that's what led to them passing away. In a lot of cases, it's because they lacked mobility, even just foundational mobility to take a step sideways. As they got older. And I think once again, doing fun and interesting aspects of fitness like these things will help with that, and again help people retain range of movement and stay healthier longer. I think these rope exercises and creative flow that one can do really fit in really well with perhaps a totality of fitness that somebody could put together for themselves and just be a part of it.
Nice. I wanted to ask you, do you still have your Tai Chi program?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. And Tai Chi's, touted as a go-to exercise for older folks to prevent falls, improve balance. Do most of your folks in your Tai Chi class, are they there more to study the art? Are they more for general health? Some of both?
Most of them start for the general health then, because they've heard about health benefits of Tai Chi and so on and so forth. And then the ones that stay are the ones who have who acquire an interest in the art and acquire an interest in the internal power and that kind of stuff. So Tai Chi, the first layer of it is you do some Qigong and you do some forms, and that's kind of 101, I guess you could say. But the forms are not really the art. They're a way to practice the art. The art is what you're doing with your body and what you're doing with your mind. And that's what the people who stay in it are the ones who have an interest in building those skill sets.
I think I could relate to that to the rope a little bit, because I can go in kind of different modes with the rope. Sometimes I'm trying to go really fast and make it you could say a more yang approach. I'm going fast, I'm pushing hard, or I'm trying to learn new tricks and skills. But then sometimes I'll also go back and I will just meditatively go through those basic movements over and over and over. And it's a great, for me, I think of it as a moving meditation.
Right. Excellent. And I think that kind of thing, a moving meditation, be it ropes or Tai Chi or whatever modality works for somebody. So I'm a fan of like a still meditation, a seated meditation or something. Part of the problem with that is there's a little bit of dissociation that occurs. And you open your eyes and you look like you've been hitting a blunt or something, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but that's all you do. It's not really a very good thing either. And so finding that place of calm, shall we say, in a movement, I think is important, because then you're taking different layers and aspects of yourself and finding a place that they can harmonize. And I think, like I said before, this is an excellent way to practice that.
Yeah. I could see too, if someone was working manual labor on their feet all day long, maybe they prefer a seated silent meditation, but most of us these days are sitting on our butts all day long too. So I would rather get some physical movement in for those people at the same time.
Yeah. And it's fun. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think the concept of play in your fitness is significant. And that if I know for me, like if I'm training for an event, like when I used to do fights or whatever, I would train for that event and I would do things I wouldn't normally do. Like I do not enjoy running at all, but I would do it for that event. And as soon as the event happened, I'm not running anymore. Stuff like that. And I know people who love running, and that's cool. It's different things work for different people. But I think the things that you do the longest for fitness are things that you are able to create as play. You're doing something with your body that you enjoy, and you're having fun. And so I think that's pretty pivotal for really any kind of fitness regime that somebody puts together for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. To have a practice, something that's fun, something where you can challenge your brain, you're always learning new skills. And, piggybacking on my train of thought earlier, I I think this is a great tool for fall prevention. And I don't know if you've had any of your students who have had falls or concerned about getting injured from falls, but last time I looked, it's one of the leading causes of death over 65 is falling. And again, I look at it, foundational strength and muscle mass is good because you're going to be a little bit more sturdy if you do fall. You might have increased bone density. You might have a little cushion from your muscle mass, so that's good. Basic balancing exercises like can you stand on one leg? That's pretty good. But I think I see something going on in Tai Chi and traditional martial arts that I don't see going on much else. And at the base level with Tai Chi, the gradual weight shift in these various different stances and angles and positions, knowing is my weight on my right. In fact, when I first came in, it was one of the first things we looked at in that stance, all the weights on the back, being able to pick up the feet. I think that's when I trained at your school 20 years ago, even the little tidbits, I'm sure there's a lot I forgot, but I think one of the things that's helped me as a trainer are the tidbits I remember at your school learning under you 20, 25 years ago that a lot of people in the fitness industry don't have. Just being able to move my body in different positions, seeing movement from a different lens, weight shifting, knowing that I'm not always supposed to be dead center. So I work with a lot of folks in the 60s plus crowd, and preventing falls is a big thing. And I see Tai Chi and rope flow as probably two of the best modalities for improving that.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. A lot of our older students who are, I guess I'm now in the 50 plus crowd, so I guess I'm older, but that come into our Tai Chi classes, that's a large part of what they want is fall prevention, balance, that kind of thing. And so I would have to agree it's a pretty big deal. And those are definitely the best places, excuse me, in my opinion, to work on it. Doing things like a rope flow, Tai Chi class, stuff like that you're working on weight transfer, you're working on recognition of where balance is, even something that's a bit more kinetic like the ropes, I think is important. So worth doing.
Nice.
So I'm impressed with the rope flow. I think it's highly awesome. If someone wanted to learn more about it and maybe even attend the workshop, how would they get information? Where's the workshop? What's next?
Yeah, so we're doing a workshop Saturday, August 30th, 9 a.m. at Memorial Stadium. And it's going to be an hour and a half. It's going to be a great opportunity to cover all of the bases, work on some mobility of the upper body, get all the foundational rope skills, improve balance, improve coordination, and hopefully have some fun while we're at it.
Okay, can someone come if they have never done this before?
Absolutely. Yeah, the workshop is designed for beginners. We may have a few people with experience, but the whole goal of the workshop is to just teach you from the ground up how to handle this.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Yeah. We got the link below to sign up. Hope to see you there. Thanks, man.
Sounds good. All right. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome. That was really fun.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad I enjoyed it too.